Chinese yo-yos never landed? The bottom line is this team's not tough.
Yeah.
How are they going to beat Washington in the first round if they hold on to the 8th seed?
All right, how about this? What else? Think about this. What else do they need to do? What else do they need to do besides fighting? They're missing a bunch of guys. Savard's up #1 guy.
Yeah.
Let's break it down right now. This team needs to either get rid of guys or who are they going to keep for next year?
Well, first of all, it really hurts to lose Mark Savard. He's the only scorer the team has. Michael Ryder's supposed to be a scorer. He hasn't shown us much. No. He's the only guy who's had a chance to square up with Matt Cook twice, and both times he denied it. He lined up with him at the faceoff. I actually think if the Bruins fire Claude Julien for being soft as he has been, which we've gone through 10 great coaches, so the problem's going to change. Chiarelli hasn't really had a good draft yet. Next year is a good chance to give him an opportunity.
Would you call it a make or break?
But if we get rid of Julien, look for Chiarelli to be gone. We're going to yard sale this whole thing, and we might have to say, hey, we got a couple guys in place, but for the most part, we need to rebuild.
Yeah.
And we have draft picks next year to start that process.
Right.
Are we going to take that dip in the standings for a couple of years? I think we probably will, and we'll go with a whole new regime.
Well, let me ask this, because they just, after their unbelievable year last year and all the accolades they got, they signed Julien to an extension, Chiarelli to an extension. If we know the owner of the Bruins, he's not going to just fire a guy anymore. That's a lot of money he's going to have to pay the coaches not working on his staff. This is your future. Julien's your future, Chiarelli's your future.
Let me step in too. I agree with him with Julien, but Julien's holding, like he said, he's a guy who has the best. They had the best. What do you have? 120 points last year, right?
Yeah,
right. So the big drastic change. It's not Julien. I don't think it's Julien. I think it's more the players. They lost a lot of guys in the locker room. Axelson, right? Rua. There's guys who are veteran guys.
You just named the two that I think they're missing the most.
But guys that you can easily replace. Ward's 30 million years old, and Axelson is like 62.
Yeah, but you don't know. I'm telling you,
I agree with you. I don't disagree that those are guys who were role players last year and big time helped the Bruins, but they're easily replaceable. They're a dime a dozen in the NHL. We had the injury bug, the flu bug. We have a lot of excuses right now, and Julian's the bus driver. So I know they have extensions, they have contracts. If this owner really was a fan of the game instead of just a businessman, he would revamp, but he's not. So we're going to be stuck with this unless they find a way to draft well and turn it around.
Yeah.
This year's over, folks. That team showed no heart in their most emotional game of the season. This year is over. Even if they fight, scratch, claw, and make the 6th seed, good luck against New Jersey. If they're the 8th seed, yeah, right, Washington is going to own them in 4 games. This team's not ready for the next level.
Like you said, as a Bruins fan, so what you're going to have to rebuild again on this draft? Again? Rebuild again? They haven't won a damn championship in 40 years.
Any free agents out there next year they can pick up?
Well, next year, you know, they really haven't done anything with their salary cap space, which they claim they would do under Mike O'Connell. They've never made the big move.
Yeah.
There's nothing telling me, especially this trade deadline. I know everybody wanted Toronto's pick, but they didn't get a scorer. They swapped defensemen that were equal in value. You can't win a championship running in place. You need to go out there and get a goal scorer. Mark Savard being out for the season, maybe you can build on him a little bit, but they don't have the firepower. They just don't have the talent. They're a 9th, 10th seed. So they need to do something drastic, Jay, and I don't think that picking up one guy. Even if they got Kovalchuk, they'd be in 8th place.
Yeah, honest to God. I agree with you. It's embarrassing. I've never seen a turnaround like this where you go from the #1 seed last year to one of the best teams to what we're seeing now.
The 8th seed.
You were at home on one of the biggest televised games in Boston Street, and even everyone in the whole country was watching this game. And the fans are pumped. 2 minutes in, you get the fight. You figure you feed off that adrenaline, and it's just goal. And at one point, I heard say 9 minutes. Pittsburgh had the puck in their zone. They didn't even get a shot. 17 shots total in the game. At home on that night with the 1970 team all in attendance.
It's embarrassing.
That was just terrible. They're by far the worst Boston sports team going. And you know what? And you know what's sad? Thank God we're great sports fans here in Boston that they do stick by the Bruins, which is incredible.
So you're saying right now, you got to fire Claude Julien.
You can't though.
Go into the draft. Get rid of half these guys on the team now.
Yeah.
Who do you keep? Chara? You keep Savard? Who do you keep?
You have to. They're the 2 highest.
I'll tell you, you're going to have to keep guys like David Krejci. You're going to have to keep guys like Tim Thomas.
Lucic signed.
You have no choice but to keep a big core
They're in trouble. I mean, we know they are in trouble.
Yeah, but they're going to have to keep a lot of these guys because of the contract boom. So it's not a pretty sight. But if you bring in a new GM, he might just find ways of doing things. Chiarelli, when he first got here, was aggressive. He got Chara, he got Savard, but he never built the team. Last year was as close as we're going to get, and they blamed injuries. They made excuses.
They did.
They're doing it this year.
How do you make excuses every time, Coach? You can't.
Is right.
You were the best team in the NHL. You lost. You made excuses. You're making excuses as an 8 seed. If they keep making excuses, they're all done.
Well, Phil, thank you. This is why we bring on Bruins Doings, Phil Smith. Location at Mavericks Bar and Grill. This is Sports Far Around, and I'm Darren Svensson with my co-host Jay Cobb. We just saw him fired up Bruins Doings with Phil Smith. You know what? He should have been fired up. They are an embarrassment to the city of Boston because we have die-hard fans here. That was ridiculous.
You know what? It was nice to see Phil all fired up, speaking what was on his mind and what was going on with the Bruins, and how they made some bad deals and how they're making some good deals in the future, hopefully.
We got a Castle fan. We got a Castle. Hey, come on over here. We want to talk to you. Come on over. What's your name? Come on. Hey, bring it on. Bring it on. This is what we love. The Boston fans. This guy's a Bruins fan. What's your name, brother?
Cliff.
Cliff, talk to me. What are you so upset about? Castle being traded?
First of all, why would you get rid of
Talk to the microphone. This is a beautiful place.
First of all, why would you get rid of Kessel? There's no need for that. Okay? Now you get Savard that's injured. Okay? You got Thornton who's coming out 2 minutes in the game.
Speak on, brother.
He's fighting Cook. What else you got? You got Chara fighting. Who Chara fight?
Mini-Me?
Mini.
That's right.
What are you doing? Seriously. I mean, come on. We gotta. Where we go?
This team has no heart. Just say it. They have no heart. Come on. This is what we love.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, brother. Thank you.
Very much, kid.
This is Jacobs. Listen to the poor guy.
Charlie,
He's dying.
Charlie, come on. You know what? There's an opportunity to make a move here, right? If we just tell us you're going to rebuild. We don't care. Let us know. You're going to rebuild. Boston can accept it.
That's
you don't
right.
tell us. We're going to complain the whole time.
Hey, do we have to talk about March Madness? Oh my God, my brackets are done.
Well, that's because, obviously, you know what? There's only a few of us who know how to pick them.
Listen.
And Murray State was my pick, by the way.
Well, who better to talk some handicapping and handicapping? Randy McDougall, come on, buddy.
All right, brother.
Good to see you. All right, tell the world, it's on. Yeah, right.
Guys, thanks a lot.
Come on
What a day
in,
this
come on
is.
in.
This
Don't
is
be
great.
bashful.
First live show, guys. Thanks for having me up there. This is great.
All right, stop beating around the bush. How are you doing on your brackets?
All right. Well, as any sports fan, you do a couple brackets here. I have a couple brackets right now. 2 of them are looking good. One got absolutely decimated last night, thanks to Georgetown. I had Georgetown going to the finals.
Stupid.
Yeah, it was a stupid move.
My sneeze.